Okay, welcome back to day 11 of the Valentine countdown box. Let's open us up. See what we got inside. Ooh, it's some glitter. Is it glitter? It might be embossing powder. I'm going to test a little bit out and see if that is, I think it's embossing powder. I'm pretty sure it is. So we'll test that out and get it going. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, this is the packaging for the embossing powder came in. I'm going to utilize that in my card. I've already cut out a piece of the, this is from the pattern paper pack from the other day, and I have some dollhouse. Oh, this is dollhouse? No, this is the bubblegum glitter stock. And I have some double-sided adhesive on there. I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to eyeball it. That looks about center. And I'm going to just add that right there. I'm using the double-sided adhesive because this is so shiny. And we're going to use a piece to kind of cover up where the Ziploc part is. And then this piece here, we're going to just eyeball so that it's about the same distance away. Close enough. Now you could go closer to the edge so you don't waste any of that extra glitter stock. I always keep my small pieces. What I'm gonna do is stick it to some release paper. Stick it up right now. And I'm just gonna trim the edges. I have a piece of double-sided adhesive. This is for foam tape right here. I'll stick it on there. They might not all fit, but so you can see where this was, you know, the pouch that has it. And I'm just going to make sure it's sealed real tight. I have another piece of leftover little foam tape release paper. So I show you, we can use these little bits if we want, and I'll show you how we can do that. I'm going to do that. That little piece you could probably toss, but this is just using a Spellbinders die from my stash, an older one. I'm just going to put that down right in there, but I think I'm going to pop it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some foam tape. And I tore the last piece, little bit of foam tape I was using, so I'll just stick that down on some release paper here so it doesn't stick to my desk. And I'm using the checkered side. I'll just throw little pieces down here. Okay, I got all the release paper off, so we're just going to go ahead and center that on our card base, or our little heart here. And think what I'm going to do is we're going to grab a piece of Mason cardstock, because this is beautiful cardstock that kind of matches that deep burgundy color in the pattern paper. We're going to cut this down to an A2 size. And then I think, well, we've got this on here. We need a sentiment. But I'm not sure exactly. I'm thinking I want to cover this background with this embossing powder. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting my, get my Misty out here. Get my Stick-O-Mat here. Grab my anti-static powder tool. Oh, and we need to, and I'm going to grab the love hearts, or the handwritten love stamp set. This is out, I believe this is out of stock right now, but it will be back in stock. They have been placed on order, so maybe this week. I will check the stock and link it below. All right, and we're gonna pull that up, and I'm gonna grab some embossing ink, stamp this out a couple of times. I will link anything that is available to purchase outside of the box, and the box, if there are any still available, in the description box below. I will let you know which ones are affiliate links, and if you place an order using one of those links, that just means I get a little small commission, which helps bring you content from me. I always say that a little backwards. I think this is just a fun, great background stamp for your stash. And then I'll pop it off. Let's put my cover back on for now. And I'm going to grab a nice piece of scratch paper. Now, I don't know what this is going to look like on this darker cardstock. I did swatch a little piece out, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be shimmery and shiny no matter what. So there is some glitter in this. So I do recommend sometimes trying to heat from below, because a lot of times when the glitter and your embossing powder is on top, a lot of times you can blow it off and blow it everywhere if you heat from the top right away, because your embossing gun powder is just way too strong. So I'm going to quick clean this up because I don't want to have it blowing everywhere. Okay. And I just put this in one of my old embossing powder jars, and I stuck a swatch dot on top. That's kind of what it looks like. All right, let's get our heat tool heated up. Like I said, I'm going to start from below. And you will start seeing the change. As my heat tool gets hotter and hotter, it will melt a little bit faster. I don't want to touch it because it's so warm, and you can smear it with your finger when it's warm. I'm just going to keep feeding it from the back side. Keep my heat tool moving. I tend to heat it a little closer when I'm on the back side of my cardstocks. And then I will go from the front and just heat it one more time just to make sure it's good and melted. Looks pretty good. Now, what's fun about this embossing powder is light and dark. So as it hits the light, you can see the lighter pink. You may not see that on camera, but there's certain spots of the background that you can see. Like when I held it like this, I see a lot of light pinks and dark pinks. And then when I go like this, I see a lot more of the shiny, darker pink. So that's a very fun. So we've got this, and we're going to put this right in the center. And then we need a sentiment. And I'm thinking I'm going to grab a piece of vellum quick. And we have some heat-resistant vellum. We got some heat-resistant vellum. I'm going to grab a piece of that and find a nice chunky sentiment from that same stamp set we used yesterday. The Sentimental Love. And I'm going to do I Love You to the Moon and Back, because I have not used that one yet. Let's get my misty here, ready to go. And we're going to stamp that down. I'm going to stamp it a little bit more towards the center because I think I'm going to cut it out with the same another heart. Well, anti-static powder tool this. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the Prom Queen ink, the Stellar ink, Prom Queen ink, instead of my embossing ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down. I have a little something on my stamp here. Let me clean that off. Got a little hair or something. See if I can get that cleaned off and stamp that again here quick. There we go. Much better. And then we'll do the same thing. We're going to heat emboss that embossing powder on it. So let's grab our scratch paper again. And this embossing part, because it's got a little bit of opacity to it. I think is that transparency. I always get those two messed up a little bit. And once again, we're going to clean up. That one piece of tape there. Shake off the little extra in the garbage, and then we will once again heat set this. Let's make sure it's get hot again. I'm going to heat it from behind. Now this should do a little faster because it's vellum. And that looks pretty good. That's how fast that was. Now the fun thing about this is I'm going to show it to you before we cut it down is that, see how that, I mean, you could, if you had done a hole, like you could almost do it on top but I'm going to do just a little bit and I'm going to cut out a heart. So let's find our dies here. I have my little Spellbinders nested dies here. Let's see, I think it might be this one, which is going to cover up that a little bit. Do I have a smaller one? Maybe. I think here they are. This one might be a little too small. Yep, that's a little too small. It's going to cut some of my sentiment off. So we're going to use this one. So we're going to stick our die down. Actually move it over just a little bit because I did it to the right a little. Put my piece of vellum in there. Right about there. Sandwich that in. I'm going to live dangerously by not taping it down. And then we're going to put that right there. And I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. It's nice and clean. I'm just going to put a little glue behind the wording. And then we'll put a few little pieces of glue dots and hide it with some gems as well. There we go. That works good. And then we'll put one here and here, and we'll put one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's what I'm going to do for glue. I'll stick it down. You might see a little bit of that glue, but not terribly. Stick that down on there for a minute, and we'll grab some crystals. We're going to grab the pink ones. Come back, and we're going to grab our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I don't know where they all went to because I can't see all of them, which is kind of cool. Sometimes you over glue and you can see that through the vellum, and sometimes you under glue perfectly. Is under glue a word? All right. One here. One here. And the nice part is, I hope you guys have been enjoying this. I've been trying not to make necessarily Valentine as in for your sweetheart cards, so that you can make multiple cards with this box and not have, because, you know, I mean, you can give your sweetheart 15 if you want, or 14 cards, but you could also give these to children, friends, loved ones, grandma, grandpas, you know, things like that. Totally could switch up the sentiments a little bit here and there. I'm going to go ahead and gently put some double-sided adhesive on the back of my package here. Because it's like an acetate-y type package, I want to make sure I use some good strong adhesive. I'm also going to throw a little glue on here. So let's peel the release paper back. You also could use the sticky notes from the day we had the sticky notes and put those in. I don't know if it's going to help with that part, but I'll glue a little bit right here. And then I'll just stick that right down to the center of our card base. And there is our day 11 card. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up, and I will see you guys back here for day 12 tomorrow. Bye.